friends, I'm back to share with you some of my favorite stamping tools in honor of my new class, Stamping Like a Boss. It starts on July 27th. It's a self-paced online course that I hope you will take advantage of. If you are looking to sort of elevate your stamping skills a little bit, or at least be encouraged to use your stamps, then this is a class for you. Right now it's on pre-sale, so make sure you check it out. Links are posted down below. Let's get started. So my first fun product that I love to use is by Lawn Fawn. This is called a stamp chamois. It doesn't look all that glorious right now because, as you can see, I have been using this a lot. All you have to do is wet the stamp chamois. It'll come dry. You wet it with some cold water, and of course it becomes pliable. You can then wipe your stamp with this. Now, it'll get off most inks off your stamp, which is fantastic. However, there are some inks that stain your stamp. So while it'll take off that surface ink, it won't take off the discoloration of your stamp. But this is a really, really great way to clean your stamps. It's actually pretty affordable. What you do is you wet it in order to use it. That's all you need. You don't need any chemicals or any cleaners or anything like that. Now, to prevent having to get up every time to wet this, because it does dry quickly, what I recommend is that you buy some type of container that you can keep your stamp chamois in. And so what I did was I went to Michael's and I bought this little ceramic jar. It has a little lid on it. So I wet my stamp chamois and I fold it up and I stick it right in here and then close it. And about every 2 weeks or so, I like to dry out my chamois and then dry this out, clean this out, wet my chamois again, and stick it right back in there. So I don't actually have to put water in this little jar. I just wet my chamois, and what it does is it keeps it moist and wet so that it's ready every time that I go to use it. Again, this little ceramic jar only cost me maybe $2.50, and that is with a 40% discount. My chamois stays wet and ready to use whenever I am working on a stamping project. Next up is my EK Success powder tool. So if you're dealing with any type of embossing or any type of flakes, glitter, that type of thing, all you do is you just rub this across your paper and it'll create a nice powdered surface, which you then can wipe off once you're done, and it prevents your embossing powder or glitter sticking to your project, particularly embossing powder. Nothing is worse than you get a flake of that embossing powder on there, you heat your embossing product, and then you have little tiny flakes everywhere. So this will prevent it. This is a really great tool for card making, for scrapbooking, any type of stamping project that you're working on. It has some powder in this little vessel right here, and then also has this little brush that will dispense that powder, and you can just rub it all over the surface of your paper and you're good to go. So my next favorite stamping product, in fact you can use this product for a lot of different projects, are these new Distress Oxide inks by Ranger, developed by Tim Holtz. I love Distress products and these are fantastic. This is new to the market. In fact, they just added a new set of colors, so make sure you check that out. Now, just like with the regular Distress inks, you can use the Distress Oxides for a lot of different things. You can use them as watercolors, you can stamp with them. These look beautiful on really dark papers, particularly black cardstock. You stamp an image with these, it looks fantastic. You can use it to color in images, you can use them for so many different things. You get a lot of really good product on that stamp base. They're only available in this traditional size so far. I think the developers at Ranger are figuring out how to scale this down to the smaller containers, like with the Distress ink. By the way, you can use this with your Distress inks as well, and you can emboss on this. So it's a really, really great product. So my favorite colors are the Broken China, the Picked Raspberry, and the Cracked Pistachio. Of course, I had to throw a roller date stamp in the mix. I have a ton of roller date stamps, but my go-to is this Heidi Swapp roller date stamp. This has been out for a while, and in fact, this stamp I think goes up to 2021, and it also has a little option where you can write in the year if need be, once, of course, you're telling stories that are past 2021. I like this little roller date stamp because it's basic, it's simple. I keep it right on my desk anytime I want to stamp a date on my project. Next up are my favorite go-to inks. I've been using these inks for years for a variety of projects. So first up is a VersaFine pigment ink for fine details. So if you have a very detailed stamp, this is the ink that you want to get. And this is an onyx black. I also like StazOn ink, and StazOn ink is a solvent ink. It will dry quickly to the surface, and it's great to use on papers that have slick surfaces. Next up is a Versamark Watermark stamp pad. I've been using this product for eons. It's my go-to anytime I want to do wet embossing on my project. And keeping on with the inks, I am a huge fan of tiny little stamp pads, mainly because my scrapbook space is a little limited right now. And plus, I like to take my stamp pads on the go. So I picked up recently a set of these Ranger acid-free permanent waterproof inks. I got actually 2 sets. This is one of the sets. And then I also purchased this little pan that you can house the inks in. Now these inks are perfect when you are on the go, or if you just don't have a whole lot of storage space, you can buy a lot of these inks and of course conveniently store them in the little pans that they go in. I purchased my set at Hobby Lobby. It stays on my desk, so whenever I want to do some stamping and I want different colors outside of black, I can just reach over and use them. These particular colors are from the Wendy Vinci, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, designer series by Ranger. Next up, I have ventured into the world of stamp platforms. In fact, this is the second stamp platform I purchased and I absolutely love it. This stamp platform is by Tim Holtz from Tonic Studio. It's very durable and incredibly practical, I believe. Great price point, fantastic product. Now, if you're not familiar with a stamp platform, I think you'll love it if you're a card maker or any type of project where you are doing stamping. This allows you to do a lot of good repetitive stamping as well as making sure that your stamp is positioned in the correct spot every time that you stamp. Take the lid off and you can use both your clear acrylic stamps as well as your rubber stamps. So there's a side for rubber and then there's a side for clear, and all you have to do is decide which one you need based on the stamp you're using and pop that right back in. It comes out easy and it goes back in easy. Of course, like with other stamp platforms, you get 2 little magnetic circles here. And this holds down your paper, whatever it is that you're stamping on. Now, what I like to do is add some washi tape to these magnets because they're a little bit hard to get up. And then, of course, you want to keep them away from each other so they don't demagnetize. I have used my stamp platform on a lot of different projects, and I absolutely love it. It is my go-to. It sits right on my desk anytime I want to stamp on a scrapbook page or a card. Last but not least are my favorite stamps that I'm loving as of late, or maybe I've just always loved them. This first one is this Ali Edwards stamp set. This came with my Stories by the Month kit that I subscribe to. It's a monthly kit, one of her offerings that you can check out on the Ali Edwards website. I love her stamps because the sentiments are just perfect for storytelling. Now, of course, my Felicity Jane stamps are also some of my favorite stamps. Before I was on the creative media team, I was a longtime customer of Felicity Jane, and one of the things that I love about the kits are the exclusive stamp sets that come with every single scrapbook kit. So this is the older packaging, this is the newer packaging, so it's a little bit more streamlined. The stamps are still the same size, great performance. They stamp so clear and beautiful on any scrapbook project, any card project, traveler's notebook. You can use them in a lot of different ways. The cool thing about this is that you can purchase these separately if you're not a Kit Club subscriber, if you're not interested in a scrapbook kit, but if you like the stamps, you can certainly purchase these separately as well on the felicityjane.com website. And then lastly are my LA Studio stamps. I love everything, all thing LA Studio. It's just fantastic product. The stamps are wonderful and they're versatile and they're great for storytelling. Some of my favorites are the Stanley Alpha set, as well as the dated stamp sets. They have one that's a full-size one, as well as a mini stamp set. Another one of the Stanley Alphas, this time it's sort of the negative design of the Stanley Alpha. The Currently stamp set, which is great for documenting your interest. And last but not least is this exclusive stamp set from the LA Studio From Sketch to Finish class, volume 3. Such a fun, versatile stamp set. Lots of images, great icons. I've used this thing a lot. For more information about the products that are featured on this video, make sure you head over to the Victoria Marie blog. And when you do, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to learn more about stamping, check out my new online self-paced class called Stamping Like a Boss, a mini course available on July 27th. However, you can get the pre-sale discount of 20% off the regular course price. Make sure you check out all that information on the Victoria Marie online classes website, as well as the Victoria Marie blog. I hope to see you in the classroom. Hey friends, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. When you click subscribe, also hit that bell indicator. That way you'll know every time a new video is posted to this channel. Now you go and be creative.